everyone, and welcome to the show where after the collision, we sift through
the wreckage.
I am your host, Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams, and he is our co-host, the magnanimous, the glorious, the Professor Chabelo Vera Cruz. And we are live on HMG Media Group's YouTube channel and, of course, on the Patreon after the fact. Boys, are we throwing all our chips in after Double or Nothing or what?
Oh, hold on. I'm the guy that's in the tri-state area. I'm the guy from Bombay, New Jersey. And that intro insults the professor. How do you think that after Double or Nothing, that New York just went into the apocalypse? Nothing blew up. Nothing bad happened. We just had a wrestling show. The only bad thing that happened after Double or Nothing was 10,000 people were stranded after the show was over, waiting for a train. That's it. Other than that, no apocalypse. We lived on. Life moves on. Life finds a way, as Jeff Goldblum said in Jurassic Park. Nature finds a way, Jimmy. I find it insulting that you said that New York just got into a cataclysmic apocalypse. No, we live.
Well, to be fair, Professor, just quietly, it's not because of New York City. It's actually because we're on that wreckage. It's all a bunch of wreckage everywhere. It's rubble, bro. Come on.
Metaphorical. It's more metaphorical wreckage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
like the Rock, I got goosebumps when I saw this. I'm like, what you trying to tell me?
Although I will say the Knicks making it to the NBA Finals is the seventh sign, I think.
That is true. Yeah.
So,
Ooh. What do you think?
Anything you want to say about that, Professor?
Yeah, actually, I want to hear.
No. Just for all the Haminites, check on executive producer extraordinaire Big Ray, because if they win, he's tearing down New York City. What you saw in the intros, Big Ray will have 100%. He does that. Not me. I'm just objective. I just want to see a good game. But Big Ray is gonna do all that shit that Jimmy T put in that intro.
He said it just quietly. He did say it. But Vet, what's going on, man? Do the Knicks have a chance at becoming champions?
Who knows? I don't watch basketball anymore. Come on. Who watches basketball anymore?
Well, I do.
Basketball is for the children. Oh well. Okay, that makes sense. You're a children.
Come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
So but as far as that goes, the whole wreckage thing, the imagery there that you see, that's the size of the wreckage that we've got to sift through today with our colossal episode, where we're going to be covering everything from Double or Nothing all the way to Double Collision. Can you believe it? Not only did they give you the bonus Collision hour, but then they said, you know what? Also full Collision on Saturday. Suck it. So we've got all of that for you. We've got from top to bottom. We've got an amazing show that we're probably going to go in all kind of directions. And we're going to start it off right now. Silent Bob. Okay. So it's Double or Nothing. This is a week ago. It's the pre-show. Renee is introducing somebody new, but not really new, only new to AEW, Jimmy. The hardcore legend himself, Mick Foley, is here.
Bang, bang. Yeah. Now, just quietly, you guys know, I said I'm not watching no pre-shows, but I know that Mick Foley did make his appearance on the pre-show. And surprise, right? What took him so long to sign him?
He just thought the WWE was going to come to their senses politically, I guess. And when that didn't happen, he came to AEW, and Professor, he spouted a bunch of lies like this made him fall in love with wrestling again, and you're going to see some of the greatest matches of all time tonight, and all this other stuff he really didn't need to say because he doesn't have to sell it. We know that none of that's true. We're just happy that, to see a familiar face. We don't have to immediately dash our credibility and throw that in with the rest of the wreckage.
All I'm just going to say, Vet, and to the Haminites in the chat, and you too, Jimmy, tell me when I'm telling lies, because I swear I'm the professor. I swear in 2009, he felt invigorated. He felt born again in the land of TNA. He felt happy. He felt contrite. He felt relieved. But now, all the way in 2026, he feels that again. I'm not, I don't want to get political for the Harmony Knights either, too, but I'm just not going to say that. But you know what? He was involved in WWE in 2016. There was a certain president that got elected in 2016. Didn't bother him then. Didn't bother the direction of WWE then. It took 10 years. So I'm going to say. It took him 10 years. And I guess a bunch of tweets. Who knows? But I'll just say this. It's a good call for AEW to do this. It was a good way for Mick Foley to debut in AEW, the perfect land, New York City, Mick Foley country. Mrs. Foley's baby boy is back home again in New York. Now, I'll say this, Vet, and maybe you want to agree with this, or maybe you have a different take on this. But, I heard on Eric Bischoff's 83 Weeks, not to quote verbatim, but I kind of agree with what Eric Bischoff said. Do certain things in the ring, be a mentor to certain wrestlers, kind of get them over, do all that stuff. Do not have that one more match. My man Mick Foley does not need one more match with knee replacements, hip replacements, back replacements, whatever replacements in his body, whatever metal he has left at the age he is. He's close to, what is he, 60 something? I don't know. Hopefully Josh is in the chat. He'll correct me on that one. But I don't think we need a 60-plus-year-old Mick Foley giving me, fans are fickle, but when I hear that one more match chant from AEW fans or any fans, no matter what organization, shut the fuck up. Just let him in the ring. Let him say bang, bang. Let him do his cheap pops. I don't need him in the ring wrestling. That's just me. I'm just sorry.
I agree that he probably shouldn't. I'm not even going to say probably. He shouldn't. I just understand that it's hard because every time you go out there to do that one more match and it shits the bed compared to your imagination of what you wanted it to be or what you hoped it would be, then you keep wanting one more bite at the apple. That last one, that's my last match was bad. I need to have a good last match and it's going to be worse. So don't do it. But he's going to do it. Fuck shit. We already know he's going to do it. Right. So, I mean, we're not even done talking about his appearance on this pre-show for fuck's sake. No. So let's not fully jump the gun here, but, I understand it's just difficult to let it go, especially when you show up and they shower you with love, you're going to get that feeling like, man, they want me. They really want me to get in there for one more match, and well, what else are they going to say? So hopefully not, but probably so.
There is strong rumors too that he wants to get back in the ring in AEW.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tweet him the link of Ric Flair's last match, what it was supposed to be, and then look at how he did. Almost died.
Well, I'll give you the silver lining to the cloud that may be a last match, right? And I think I've actually heard him say this before from his own mouth, but if he were to actually get in shape enough to be able to have one more match, at the very least, he got himself in good shape. Whatever happens in the match is whatever happens in the match, but Mick Foley's weight fluctuates constantly as he's inactive, and it's very unhealthy for him to be that big that late in life. So if he's trying to get in shape for one more match and he just ends up getting in shape, then that's a plus.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. So that's all I'll say about that. But moving on in this pre-show here, Zeta Steel and Viva Van with Christopher Daniels.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Vet, before you even go on, we talk about this match. This is for Jimmy. I had a good double or nothing. I had a good scorecard. I was just going to say, go ahead, Vet. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So we're starting with this. I don't know if we did picks for this one, but
I did.
Okay. So
do we do picks?
Can you believe it? Viva Van, Zeta Steel with Christopher Daniels versus Divine Dominion in the 5-minute Eliminator Challenge. Can you believe they did not win the Eliminator Challenge, Jimmy?
Bullshit.
They came close. 4 minutes, 46 seconds. But they just couldn't hold on for that 14 more seconds so that they could get the title shot.
Check the tape, guys, because I predicted the same thing that this was happening.
You did say that.
I was just off by seconds. That's all I want to say. I was just off by a couple of seconds. But I said they were going to be close.
That's ridiculous anyway. But I guess they do see something in these girls, right? So we'll see, I guess.
Yes. Well, Divine Dominion does handle this makeshift tag team, and Christopher Daniels has the foolish idea to get in the ring, and then he has to take a bump for Divine Dominion, and then Ty J is back, and they bring the weapons, and they run off Divine Dominion. Get out of here! You leave Christopher Daniels alone, you bitches. And
I think there was something wrong, Vet, and maybe Jimmy, you can help me too. You're my AEW guy, just like me, but my stream, I didn't hear a thunderous pop for the returning Ty J. I didn't hear that. Did you hear that? I mean,
I didn't even see it. So
I'm just saying. Did you hear a thunderous pop? I didn't hear nothing. Nothing against Ty J. I mean, weren't we asking for this? Weren't we asking for at least a legit women's tag team? They were one of the first women's tag teams, and they ceremoniously were not in the tournament. Now they're back. This is the reunion we've been all asking for. And I heard, and it's the tree falling and no one hears a sound.
Well, I think you conflated two different things there. No one was asking for it, and that's why we got the tree falling in the forest.
You missed my poll. You missed my poll on my Twitter. It was thunderous. 100%. Everybody wanted. Yeah.
How did I miss that? I see everything.
I should have tagged you. I think I tagged you. Oh, sorry. I tagged the fake
algorithm has been acting up recently, so we're gonna go with that. We're also gonna go with the Death Riders versus the Ops next in the grudge match we didn't know we wanted. But here they are. I mean, I guess they're fighting about Will Ospreay, even though he's not nowhere near this. But they have the match, and the 5-tool player gets beat with a running European uppercut. Claudio doesn't even feel like he needs to do the pop-up European uppercut. He's like, no, I'll just run at you. I'll just run. Yeah, that's good enough for you, 5-tool player. Pride of professional wrestling.
I knew who was going to take the loss, just like I told you, Jimmy, but they just didn't book it the right way. They didn't book no internal struggles. They didn't book like Hooks looking at Anthony Bones like, wait, we got him in the ops for this? You took a loss. You took the L like this?
So basically, it was nothing. It didn't matter at all.
It was a nothing burger, and they were fighting for the love of Will Ospreay. One felt jaded, and now one had to prove themselves that the training is working. This is all it is. This was the Will Ospreay 6-man open challenge, if you will.
I'm still confused, by the way, by that group, but we'll get to that when we do.
Well, here's the real main event of not really. Actually, there's a main event to this main event on this pre-show, but the main event match is the Conglomeration and the Fat Family and QT Marshall and a carton of Vita Coco versus Shane Taylor Promotions, Anthony Ogogo.
My boy Anthony.
Yeah, your best friend Anthony Ogogo was there.
He's a stalker, bro.
Which I did have a note during the match, Professor. You can say whatever you want about it because I don't really care. But the only thing I noticed during the match was Anthony Ogogo, the professional boxer, purportedly getting out punched by this fat dad, which I just thought that was that's kind of indicative of where AEW has been. I was hoping that they moved on from things like this, but
I swear I should tell him that for real. I should say, bro, what the fuck was that?
No, don't do that to Ogogo. Don't do that to him. Don't do
he knows where his deserves it.
Yeah, that's true. I'll just say this.
He was a decent boxer, man.
Yeah, but the only highlight I had, Vet, was the fat kid, that does this shit. He was, 2 women were going crazy. They were doing pedophilia shit. Man. 2 women were fighting for the affection of the little fat kid like this. And Harley Cameron was jealous that whatever his name is, Rizzler, whatever, was looking at the other chick. And they were fighting for this pedophilia. And all these IWC marktards are mad about Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant and pissing and shitting, but yet 10,000 people were okay looking at 10-year-old Rizzler fighting for the affection, getting fought over the affections of that.
You just made the list.
Yes, very much so. As far as the match goes, Jimmy, it is what it is. And guess who won with the pin? Your favorite
Rizzler?
No, AJ Boone. It was made for him. It was so.
Of course, it's going to be one of them. It was going to be one of those.
No. Check the tapes. I'm going to tell you. You said the predictions. This is why I'm so happy with my point system. I said AJ Boone was going to win with the pin. I forgot who he pinned. He might have pinned the Go-Go, your man, your stalker friend, but it doesn't matter. This match was just for him.
It was definitely one of the infantry.
Never did.
Probably was, yeah. But like I said, I don't care about these pre-show matches and who won. But of course, AJ was going to win. He always wins, for fuck's sake. Every fucking pre-show, pretty much.
There to win.
Yeah.
But I mean, they weren't happy with the win. They were the family was happy, but I mean, the heels were not happy.
Well,
so they started menacing. But luckily, we had Ortiz, Mance Warner for some reason, and Eddie Kingston came out all to run off the evil Shane Taylor promotions.
Apparently, Vet, just for logistic purposes, Mance Warner, Eddie Kingston, and Ortiz are winning their trios matches on ROH. You have to be an Honor Club member to know this, and they want those trios belts from Shane Taylor Promotions.
Ooh.
Very long-term storytelling.
Damn.
Man.
Mind you, I'm sarcastic when I say this shit.
Yes, of course.
Did you really think was who gonna take you serious? Come on, bro.
So that's the last match on the pre-show, but we're not done with the pre-show because Mick Foley's out there one more time. And MJF cuts him off to quite a big reaction. MJF gets a huge reaction, as Professor predicted he would. However, we'll talk more about that a little bit later. And yada, yada, yada. He ends up kicking Mick Foley in the balls. Of course he does. And then Darby Allin comes out and prevents MJF from doing anything else. But then Mick Foley gets...
Vet, can I say this?
Yes, go ahead.
I mean, the segment was great. I just want to give props to MJF. No, because last week, the only thing I got wrong, Jimmy, and I said this because I said this is MJF country, the fans were going to cheer him and shit like that. MJF did everything in his power to make sure the fans to get booed. Right. And you got to give MJF props for this shit. Whatever he says, and then we'll talk about the match later, but he did everything in his power, and I have to applaud him for that. Of course, kick to the nuts. We see this coming. That's why when the show started, how many nights, this is what I wanted to point out to Vet with all that shit. Like, if Mick Foley gets that itch, if it's going to be a Dynamite, if it's going to be Forbidden Door, or I've heard there's going to be a new pay-per-view coming out of the woodworks, AEW Redemption. What a great way for Mick Foley to get a redemption for getting kicked in the nuts. That's all I'm just going to say.
I don't think he needs a redemption because after he got kicked in the nuts, he stood up and then cut the fucking longest promo I've ever heard, acting like he didn't just get kicked in the nuts. He decides that now is the time to tell Darby his entire life story over again. And
that's a lot of
MJF just standing on the hold on, Professor, hold on.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of pent-up frustration he had. He's waiting to release it.
He got kicked in the balls. This is not the time. The time to do this is the next time we see you. Not the time you kick him or don't kick him in the balls. That's also a choice. A choice would be for MJF to not kick him in the balls. So if Mick Foley wants to tell his whole life story on the microphone, that's great. But the ball kick, you got to deal around that. Like, you can't just... It wasn't even like he had that much time to recover. We're talking about like 45 seconds to a minute when Darby runs out and MJF runs away. And Mick Foley's already pulling himself up on the rope with a microphone in his hand. Like, hey, Darby, I just, you know what? They shouldn't have done it. They're not like this.
I'm telling you, Foley is going to become the new Sting to Darby.
Maybe. But next time, Vet, you kick me in the nuts, I'm going to cut a long-winded 15-minute promo on Cold-Blooded and J12 and Charles in the chat. That's all I'm going to do.
That's right. And we're going to enjoy it. But that's the thing. We're not being paid millions.
No, unfortunately.
All right. Well, it's time, Jimmy, to include you now because we're up to the main card. No. And what better way to kick off Double or Nothing in earnest than a street fight I Quit tag team championship match with CNC Wrestling Factory versus FTR Botch Factory.
Oof. Professor,
I'm going to go to you first.
When did you add Botch Factory? That's a kick in the nuts right now.
The new one. That one's a new one.
That's a kick in the nuts right there. I'm going. Cold-Blooded is one of the most purest Hominites out there. You know, Cold-Blooded is the man, the myth. I'm sorry, but anyway, with this match, how can this be a botch fest? The FTR is one of the greatest tag teams in the last 6 years. It's not me saying it. Bleacher Report said it also. I'm just saying this match was pure gold, pure jeans, but you know, it was convoluted by adding too much. I Quit, street fight, CNC's tag team careers on the line. It was all the stupid stuff. And within this match, Jimmy, you know, you got your certain spots, you know, referee holding the mic. And I think there was a spot outside where they put a cinder block on Christian's hand. That was stupid, man. That was the dumbest fucking spot, bro. First of all, we already know that his hand dumb. It was dumb because, you know, metaphorically, I'm looking at it. Okay, the chair hits the cinder block. Your hand's protected. But again, neither here nor there. You know, I'm suspending disbelief. But of course, the referee puts that mic there. Are you going to give up? And Christian just says, "I just banged your mother."
That made me laugh, but it was stupid, but still.
But they get it, Jimmy. That's all I'm just saying. CNC just gets it. And FTR, they're the machines of wrestling and all that stuff. And, you know, Stokely Hathaway did his thing in there. And then we got a Beth Phoenix appearance. You know, she had to get
music, by the way.
Yeah, with music. You know that
fucking music, bro.
These four guys came from the WWE machine, so they know how to do that kind of match. But neither here nor there. But Beth Phoenix, after 6 months, she got her payoff, and then all that stuff, and then finally, what was it? It was that Janice. They called it Janice, right? The Spike back.
No, Spike. They called it. Spike,
I don't know why Janice
I said Janice too in my own mind when I saw it, but
right. But it was the Spike, and this is where it got weird. But then I heard certain news after the fact. So if we want to talk about it for a second, but that's on you. Put the Spike to was Dax the Axe, and then of course he gives up. I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, the spike's in his head.
He was getting a sharpshooter at the same time, though, if you remember.
No, I don't care about that. I got that part, Jimmy. But I'm just I'm looking at the spike. No blood. No blood. No blood.
Nope.
Certain little things in AEW matches, blood just comes out of nowhere, man. You know this. They trickle. A closed fist, you know, hitting the head on the barricade, blood trickles. An authentic Spike, Vet, no blood. Now we come to learn, whether it's true or not, that the New York State Athletic Commission said, you know what, just drop the blood here. That spot needed blood. Other than that, I had no problem with the match. But I understand the circumstances behind the scenes if that is true, Vet. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean that's what was being reported, but
really,
yeah, supposedly the New York State Athletic Commission is some, you know, some.
I can find that out because I know someone who's part of it. I know someone who's actually part of the New York State Athletic Commission. I'm going to find out firsthand. I've interviewed him before.
But
talk to your stalker friend, Jimmy. Talk to Anthony
Go. You probably know who he is.
It has to do more with the idea of, you know, getting blood yourself, not so much if blood occurs in a hard way situation. But they're not going to say, "Oh, you have to stop the match right away." But I mean, we saw blood this night, so it's not
right.
I don't know, but that's beside the point. Like I wouldn't even. I didn't even care because that's the thing. Like even if you had a guy, like to Professor's point, if you had a guy where you've got a thing full of nails, right, and you're sticking it in the guy's forehead with a crossface, that's not gonna make blood just shoot out of everywhere. It's gonna make little holes in your head, and it might get a little bit of trickle of blood or whatever. It wouldn't be like a crimson mask like they would do
graze,
if he bladed himself.
It'd be like a graze, technically.
Yeah. So whatever. But yeah, that's how Axe quits. We knew they would quit.
Quickly,
we knew there wasn't no way anybody else would quit for anything. I did think that maybe if they got Beth in a compromising position again, maybe they would do that, quit on her behalf thing. But
she went tits first into the stairs, bro. I thought that would have hurt maybe a little bit because it's just me. She got gimmicks now.
She's always had gimmicks.
Has she? I don't know, man. They looked a lot bigger than usual for me. But then again, I haven't seen it for a long time.
Might have got them redone, but never did.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I don't know. What about you, Jimmy? There's a
lot of stupid. Look, what I saw, I'll tell you now, man. Edge or Cope, whatever you want to call him, has got no hope of wrestling too much longer, man. You could so tell that Christian was carrying him pretty much throughout the match, and FTR was carrying them pretty much in the match. I just feel like, yeah, maybe they're not the right guys to do it, but they were. They were going through the motions. Did you notice the hair? Man.
Did you notice Cope's hair? Like this? He was like
he's
this.
Looking thrashed, man.
Like
he's looking. So honestly, he's looking fucked right now. He's looking like shit. If I was him,
he's that uncle, Jimmy, that's hanging on to 1999, but his hair is just. That's the reality of his hair. Every time he's fighting in that match, it keeps going every which way. There was no wind in that building. The only thing I got wrong is the building. It was already. It had a dome. It already had a. Can't blame the wind because the dome was closed.
Right, exactly. No, but he really did. For most of the match, he wasn't doing that much. Christian was doing really all the work, man. When you think about it, and considering they're both the same age, Christian is so much further ahead of Edge right now at their age that it's not even funny. If I was him, I'd have a few more matches and just call it a day. Even though I think deep down he knows this, though, and he said it in numerous interviews that he can't do this for too much longer. And Billy Ray Valentine went to Double or Nothing, and he says it was the best show of 2026.
He enjoyed himself. He did it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe this next match had something to do with it because it's the long gestating, long, slow burning, long program between Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada. And now for the international title, Takeshita looking to reclaim it and to prove he's the #1 Japanese dude in the Don Callis family. And
easy.
Yeah, and I will say, at least on this night, Takeshita was the better man as he does recapture the international title. This is a great match, though. Now, Jimmy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to start with Jim. I've heard some things. I've heard people saying this was a match of the night. I've heard people say this is the best Okada match since he's been in AEW. I've heard this and that and the other thing. What did you think?
It was an incredible match. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot of no selling going on, but that's all right. It's Japanese wrestling, it happens, right? But put that shit aside, this match was incredible. I thought both of them gelled very well. They both told the story. There was too many maybe near finishes towards the end, but still, I was on the edge of my seat. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was a great match and possibly Okada's best match in AEW, actually, yeah. So you could make that argument.
Possible sentiment.
Yeah, it's possible. Now that I think about it, probably is. That was probably his longest match that he's been in since joining AEW, don't you think?
I don't know. I don't have the times in front of me. I'm not Meltzer with a stopwatch. Professor, what do you have to say for this match?
You could close your eyes and picture them. This is the Tokyo Dome. And this is Wrestle Kingdom, whatever number.
Hogan versus Warrior.
Yep, it's Hogan Warrior, maybe literally. Hogan Andre, all that stuff. Literally.
Because I was doing the Hogan spot too, the U.
Just like I said in the predictions, if Takeshita didn't win, New York was gonna riot, and you heard the thunder. They were waiting for this Vet. You could see it. Every little, false finish, every move, every nuance. They wanted Takeshita, and then we got it finally. It was like a breath of fresh air. Now I'll say this: do you want to talk about after the fact, Vet, or should I just go with that?
Well, I mean, I suppose.
No, I'll keep it within the match. I mean, again, everything you say about Okada, Vet, and again for the Jaime Nights, check the tapes, archives, whatever you want. Okada makes everybody better. Okada makes Omega better. Okada makes anybody better. And in this match, Okada made Takeshita better. I'm giving the praises to Okada, just like Vet said. No, but again, I keep it a buck. I keep it fair. I'm the most objective man here. It's Okada. Okada just understands the mission statement, understands what his job is, and he got Takeshita over. And I've always said this, and I said it here: the journey and the destination. The destination we wanted was Takeshita to finally beat Okada. The journey we got there, Vet, like you said, we twist and turns, and they went off. They did off ramps with no return. They did a U-turn and then went back again. It didn't make no sense. But the match was the match of the night. That's all I'll say.
And it was a good actual bow to the end of this, because now at least we can go in different directions after this match. And obviously what we see now, Vet, they pretty much will go in different directions.
Sure. Well, J12 asked if I heard Jim Cornette's review. Yes, I did. His review of the match was he didn't watch it. Brian liked it, but he, again, he's got this vendetta against Okada, like Okada's salary is coming out of his own pocket. I've never seen a man hate somebody for no reason as much as Jim Cornette. That not There's only no that, reason. The man that does exactly what Jim Cornette is always preaching for everybody to do. So,
Vet, I'm not trying to be funny here. Did Okada burn Cornette in ROH? Because I know Cornette felt burned by Omega in ROH.
He got burned by Omega, but not.
I'm just asking. I'm just saying, sometimes Cornette just keeps the act going. Did he? Burn
I could have sworn, Vet, though, that he was a fan of Okada once upon a time, man.
He never watched Okada. Based on everything he said, I don't think he's ever watched an Okada match.
Okay.
So I don't know about the time frame, because Okada just did little shots for Ring of Honor here and there, like all the New Japan guys did. I don't know.
Much later than Cornette's time, though.
That's what I wasn't sure about.
But that still was the timeline, because Cornette got burned by Omega. Well, he said that, but
but Omega wasn't even that star yet either.
Doesn't matter if you keep a grudge, Jimmy. You'll keep a grudge no matter what.
Well, to me, this match, this wasn't even the best Okada match I've seen in 2026. I didn't enjoy the match very much at all. And the reason why is because it's more of a Takeshita match than it is an Okada match. So, like to the Professor's point, it feels as though he's doing his best to get Takeshita over, because that's the job of the night and we've got an angle to do and everything else. I thought that the match, that he did his job, but I think a lot of the stuff I didn't like in the match was probably Takeshita ideas and Okada just saying, yeah, we can do that. Because that's the thing. When you're a wrestler, it's a collaborative effort. You talk about things that you want to do. You talk about things you don't want to do. And you can only say so many no's. So it's like, you have to pick your battles sometimes for political reasons. So I don't know if these guys even like each other in real life. I don't know if they're best friends in real life. Whatever the case, sometimes you just have to say yeah, I'm not going to do that. And then when you say that enough times, then they're going to come up with an idea and you're going to be like, okay, I guess we can do that. So I didn't enjoy the match very much as far as what it could have been, or compared to other Okada matches, because I just don't like Takeshita and I never will. I thought Darby had a better match with Takeshita, actually, because Darby's the kind of guy who, like Takeshita, just does whatever. But he even has way more psychology to what he does, even though it looks more reckless. So I didn't enjoy it that much, but it was a good match. I won't say it wasn't. It just, There was three, and not even really. We're gonna watch a Jon Moxley match later. And this match alone had 3 forearm exchanges. It started with a forearm exchange. What? No. So, anyways, that's that. But we do have the angle afterwards. So, Professor, you want to talk about that angle now?
When I saw the angle play out, I was like, Jimmy, I wanted to text you like, Jimmy, I told you Takeshita was out of the family. No, win or lose, he was out of the family, and then we got a returning.
Did I end up going with Okada still in that match? By the way,
no, you went with Takeshita. I just told you win or lose. I did. I just said Takeshita was out of the family, but we got a returning after I think a month and a half or 2 months with a leg injury, Kyle Fletcher. So there was internal struggles within the Don Callis family. They were pushing and shoving each other. Don Callis was trying to make peace between Takeshita and Okada, but Kyle Fletcher comes out. The fans go crazy and all that stuff.
Yeah, he got a huge pop, man.
The pinkest suit of all time.
Yes, the pinkest.
It looks rather salmon to me.
And those shoes to die for, but neither here nor there. That's for the women, Hami nice like Elizabeth to talk about. But anyway, he comes in the ring and it almost looks like he's gonna side with Takeshita. It was gonna be Proto Keska. That was gonna be the tag team. He was gonna fight by his side, but no, a clothesline, and then Kyle Fletcher hugs Don Callis, and the Don Callis family just absorbs on Takeshita. And now we understand that Don Callis always loves Okada more than Takeshita. That damn dastardly Callis.
Come on.
What do you mean, come on?
Why would he go with Takeshita anyway? Even though he beat Okada, whatever. Like, let's be real now, man.
I know. This is like Bill Alfonso picking, Sabu over Taz, even though Taz beat Sabu. It's the same shit.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. Nevertheless, though, the match. Look, this is a good bow tie to the end of this feud between Okada and Takeshita.
It's not a bow tie. It's not an end.
Technically, I think it is kind of an end between them two.
No, it's a destination, but there's another off ramp. Now we go into Takeshita versus the Don Callis.
That's what I mean. I mean the end between Okada and Takeshita, but we probably will get another match.
But then when we get to that, I have something to say about that, but I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna save it for Dynamite or Collision. Fucking conglomeration, my ass.
Well, next up, we have a women's Owen first rounder, Athena versus Mina. I mean, look,
bad spot.
Yeah, the people were relatively into it, I guess, but only relatively.
I'm pretty gassed.
Yeah. But Athena did what she always do, which is carrying. She was carrying, bumping her ass off, bumping and carrying. But she's winning, so that's what you do when you're a pro. You give them 95% of the match and then just beat them.
Doesn't she call herself the forever Ring of Honor Women's Champ now?
She's always been that. She's been billed that way, Jimmy, all the time. Was it 1,300 days strong right now? So,
but what gets me is how strong she's booked on Ring of Honor. But wouldn't you think by this point, well, you're so good over there, let's just put her into the AEW main roster on a full-time basis because she's just way head and shoulders above everyone else.
Yes,
but they still fucking don't.
You say why? So you say why doesn't he?
Well, yeah.
Well, because they don't want her to be on AEW with all the other women, because then if she's not slotted to be the top person on AEW, then they're going to have to beat her. And if they beat her, that ruins everything they've done in Ring of Honor. And so it's like when we talk about the Big Show, right?
Right.
You obviously have a Big Show here, but you don't want him to be the guy. And I'm talking about Big Show from WWF 99 to whatever.
Right.
Like, you obviously want him to be somebody, but you don't want him to be the guy. And as long as guys like Triple H and shit is around there, you're not going to be the guy. I'll be damned if the Big Show is going to be the guy. So even though he's a giant, he's got to do jobs for everybody. So this would be like, oh, well, Big Show, we're going to give you your own separate company and you'll be the champ of that. That's kind of, and they did that once with ECW too. But anyways, you see what I'm saying here? Like they know Athena's good. She's too good to beat, but they don't want to push her. So here we are in limbo. And,
she did, but you have to be fair here. In this match, this hard fought match, she did tell the story about the knee. Mina Shirakawa was going after the knee. She was going after the leg,
and she was aggressive too.
She was very aggressive. Yeah, she was very aggressive. I'll look at it this way. I don't think you guys will agree with this, but this Tony is doing something really weird with Athena. She's making Athena the big fish in a little pond of ROH. And then when she's in the land of the ocean, in the ocean of AEW, she's now a guppy that has to prove herself to grow into the great white shark.
Which is
pathetic. And the Owen is the perfect scenario for Athena to finally showcase what she's been doing in the little pond of AEW. That's why this Owen is tailor-made for Athena to win it. But again, we don't know about that wild card situation, but neither here nor there. But it's tailor-made for her to win it, to prove that she is a great white shark no matter where she swims.
I'm more concerned about the Windsor situation.
That too. Yeah.
Because that's too obvious. So I would think, now the way I would do it is I would have it be Windsor versus Athena in the finals. And I would have Athena break those people's hearts. Not really, because they don't give a fuck about Alex Windsor. Let's be serious. I don't care what part of England she wrestles in. They don't give a shit about her. They're there for her man and her man only. And they accept that as part of the package deal. So they'll pretend that they care that she didn't win the Owen Hart tournament. But that's a good setup for Will's win. It's like, oh, his woman couldn't get it done. Maybe Will can't get it done. It's drama, it's storytelling, it's
drama.
It's a dip. It's a red herring. It's whatever terms you want to use to throw people off the scent of Will Ospreay's obvious win. You could definitely use this to, as Professor says, you make Athena finally and cement her as like, okay, we're done playing around in the small pond. She is a great white shark. And you also set up Will Ospreay's win by beating his woman in the finals. It's a good booking move. So please steal it. But here she just made Mina Shirakawa look halfway competent as a wrestler and then beat her with the O face. So good job. She moves on. Next, Kyle O'Reilly with a little bit of hype from the conglomeration.
My God.
Versus Moxley. Yeah. Professor's already making a face.
Yeah.
Go, Prof. You go first.
Every week, I'll say this, that you've heard me say this. Jon Moxley made the Continental Championship the second title behind the world title. Out of default now.
I don't know about
No, it's the truth. I'm sorry. It is the truth. But because of what the Continental Championship represents, Vet, no stories can be told. My man does attempted murders on Daniel Bryan. Doesn't matter. I expect him at the end of the year, Daniel Bryan, to hug Jon Moxley. I don't know why. He took out Will Ospreay 6 months ago with a neck injury, and now he's training him like Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa. Now we got this, Jimmy. He took out Kyle O'Reilly, the man that tapped him out twice, in consecutive weeks or whatever the case may be. And now we got this match. And I'll be honest with you, Tommy Knights, my eyes were closing. I got bored with this match.
It was long, bro.
It was long. It was long and slow. And again, Jimmy, I keep saying this because of the Continental Championship and the rules and the traditions. It stops. It stopgaps storytelling. It stopgaps logic. And then it forces people just to in the point of wrestling, Jimmy, the formula works. You attacked me. You beat me down. I got to get my retribution. My man Kyle O'Reilly is supposed to be granted retribution. That's the premise. It's a time-honored tradition of retribution, but the Continental Championship forbids it. You are forced to just wrestle like it's UFC. or Bellator or just straight up. It's boring. I'm sorry. And guess who won? Jon Moxley. And I checked the time limit on Vet was talking about the time limit.
I have it here. What do you have?
19 minutes and 50 something seconds. It didn't need no hour. It didn't need no time limit bullshit. He won it before the 20 minutes was up. It was stupid. It just proves Jon Moxley is holding this company hostage story-wise, and this title is being held hostage, but it's not. And Jon Moxley loves it, and the sickos love it. It's just stupid. It's stupid.
Hey, the sickos are saying this was a wrestling clinic, prof.
Hey.
For Jon Moxley, it was. He probably learned a few things from it.
And just quietly, you lose me automatically when you come out with a fucking backpack, man. I don't give a fuck.
That's just a conglomeration thing. We're not done with that.
I don't care.
We're not done with that, Jimmy. I'll tell you where we're going with it, Jimmy.
Forget about it. No.
We're going to school. That's where we're going.
Forget about the trademark, Jimmy, of the conglomeration. I'm just talking about the match, the logic gap. It don't make no sense. And Vet was right about the time limit. And I timed it on 19 minutes. They didn't do no 20. And it was supposed to at least go 25 minutes to prove the point. They didn't even do that.
Yeah, I told you it wouldn't happen. I did say that. I don't do predictions like you guys do, but I do say things that do end up coming true nonetheless as a little bonus. What would you call these prop bets? Mm-hmm. So apparently Bleacher Report says Becky Lynch is the greatest of all time. But they also said that this match was 18 minutes, 15 seconds. But either way, under 20. Mm-hmm. So they blew it. Or they didn't. I'm just said,
talking about it. Fuck.
All I said was, my point was, you know damn well you're going to go under anyways. So don't do the stipulation with no time limit. Just say, I need another shot. I can definitely beat you in 20 minutes. Right? That's all you need. You don't need to take off stipulations, add stipulations, anything. All you have to do is you tried to win in 20. You couldn't win in 20. Then you're like, I can definitely beat you in 20.
But you know what, Vet? It's irrelevant because they shook hands in the end.
Well, I mean, Kyle beat some respect into Jon Moxley here, and maybe vice versa. But I wrote in the notes here, like they told the leg story, as far as like Kyle and his leg and John working on the leg, which was fine. But damn, they threw those forearms, bro.
I love it, bro.
Too many forearms. You're telling the leg story, and yet you're going to the forearm battle. And again, if you had watched Okada and Takeshita do that 3 times, and then you're like, yeah, maybe we could cut this match down by an extra minute and not do it ourselves because they've already seen it a bunch of times tonight. They don't know that. So Mox stabs Kyle out, and they shake hands like you said.
Yeah, shake hands. The man that broke my neck. Took me out for months. I shake it. What is this? Are we going to church? Are we? Yeah. No, it's not flip. Are we going to church?
No, I'm saying Moxley.
Yeah.
He's like a fish. He's freaking flopping all around the place, man.
Whatever the case may be. But, again, the logic gap of wrestling, the time-honored tradition of retribution. I beat respect out of Moxley? No. I'm beating the shit out of him. I'm supposed to. If Riley was supposed to win, which now that curtailed. Now he really a backpack carrying trios champion for all I care. But if this was his ascension to the next level, he didn't even impress me to do that. That's the problem I had with that. And again, no retribution. Twice, 2 times in a row, Vet. The theme. So whoever, let's say Jon Moxley attacks Mike Bailey, Speedboy Mike Bailey. Takes him out for 3 months, and then he gets a match for the Continental title, and then Speedball hugs him. No, I don't want that. We don't. Is that the theme? Is that the gimmick now?
Sportsmanship, bro.
I get you to respect me after I almost take you out, Vet? Is that a new gimmick? Because then that's actually way ahead of the pack. What would you call that gimmick?
Well,
yeah, what would you call it?
I can counter with this point. You don't have to accept it. I'll just offer it.
I love offerings.
Yeah, here's an offering for you. So this may have happened to you personally. It may have happened to somebody you know, but you've definitely heard the story about people that maybe they were young, They got into a scuffle on the playground, but you know what? They ended up being best friends afterwards, right? So if that can happen from just a childhood scuffle, imagine if you're grown men and you beat this guy's ass 5 times already. Now the 6th time he finally wins, you got to shake his hand, don't you?
I counter. Remember the movie Boys in the Hood? Ricky gets shot.
Yeah.
So Ice Cube hugs the guy who shoots him. I understand. I understand.
Well, that's a little different, but yeah.
But really, guys, is
Ice Cube,
a baby
Ice Cube was very remorseful at the end of that movie when he was drinking the 40 on the steps with Trey, if you remember.
I do.
He was not happy about what he did.
No, but for real though, boys, is Moxie again flip-flopping into a baby face?
No. It's just it just goes with the moment.
Yes.
See, I know, but he's got to stop that shit.
See what I did there? I flip-flopped.
Yeah, he flip-flopped it. But he's got to stop doing that. Stop playing to the crowd. You know what I mean? Like, just...
Oh, wait,
here's
Jimmy.
Here's what
go later. Wait, Jimmy, that goes later on. So let's move on to the next match so we can just...
Yes.
All right.
We could just say that we know Jon Moxley is unpredictable.
Yeah, sure.
But this was kind of predictable, this next match, which is also an Owen Hart tournament match with Will Ospreay versus Samoa Joe. We all predicted this would probably be a good match, and I think we were all right.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what do you think? You like it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, come on. Anytime Samoa Joe's in a match, I always enjoy it, man. He just gets it. He knows. Even him at a more advanced age is still great to watch. And I'm not looking forward to the time where he calls it quits, put it that way. But yeah, it was a great match. I can't believe though that what's his name? Ospreay done the friggin' Styles Clash on someone as big as Joe, man, and Joe took it like a pro. He didn't tuck his head, didn't shit himself. He knows how to take it. I'm sure he's had a few of them in the past, but at his age and that big, how big he is now, man, I'll say no to taking that move. But hey, he still took it like a champ. And this match was again absolutely great from start to finish, man. I can't really complain about it.
Yeah. Well, the Styles Clash is not that difficult of a move, but I'm glad you're.
I know, but a lot of people have fucked it up. The ones taking it by tucking their heads in, you know.
Like what? A couple of jobbers and
James
Ellsworth. James Ellsworth.
Hey, hold on a minute. I don't want to mention names after you said that. There's one particular person that took a.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, we're not going to say it. But the point is, Samoa Joe is not that, and he did not get the win here, Professor, as we didn't think he would.
We didn't think he would. I was undefeated until the later on in this show, but neither here nor there. But I'll just say this: the ascension of Will Ospreay, and I'm going character-wise of that here. I think you talked about it. I'm not saying you nitpicked it about this, but I think we both agreed. Like when he came back and doing his matches and now being trained by the Death Riders, we expected that he would change maybe his style a little bit. So in this match, he still did Will Ospreay stuff. He still was aerial to a degree. But I think I looked at it this way. Maybe kind of like toned it down a little bit, or maybe I'm kind of like he went from 10, but he brought it down to 8. You know what I mean? So he might have saw like again, we're talking about again, if you're being trained by the Death Riders and the Death Riders are ground and pound, beat you down and all that stuff, you kind of saw a little bit of an ascension of Killer Billy Goat. That's what I'm trying to say here. A little bit. So. Not too much, but a little bit.
I think so. And that was going to happen regardless because Joe's not going to let it. You know what I mean? He's not going to let it be. If Will Ospreay versus Ricochet and the Super Juniors was a 10 Will Ospreay, this is like a 4 Will Ospreay. 3 maybe. So he's like way, way different than he was when he was stupid. You know, he's still stupid, but I'm talking about like in the ring too. So it's okay. And there were times when, being Will Ospreay, that flips around is beneficial to the match. That way, like, for example, Joe can do the nope spot, right? I mean,
right.
You can't do a nope spot if nobody's flipping at you. So just things like that. But it was good.
A quick, hard-hitting match, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is Samoa Joe.
Joe.
Samoa Joseph. So, yeah, Will Ospreay puts him away with a couple of hidden blades, and, there's that. Now,
And a shake. Let's not forget the shaking.
Yeah, was there a shake?
There was a shake hands. It was the AEW hug title. Yeah.
Or
a nod, or like a.
Yeah, I didn't see a shake.
Well, that's
though,
different.
Right.
Nods and shakes are different.
There was a respect factor.
So the next match, there was not going to be any of that. It's Swerve versus Bandito here.
I didn't like this match at all.
They had a match.
You know why I didn't like it? Because they didn't do it the way I said it. I'm just saying, but go ahead. I got it wrong. Well, I got the wrong pick, but you know, I stand by. I doubled down that the wrong person won.
Hey, I got it right, by the way, Professor. Just quietly. So.
But you still hated the match because it didn't.
Yeah, the match sucked. And you know what sucks? You know when he done that spot where which was great balance. Don't get me wrong, where he jumped up on Bandito and like stood there, is the most unrealistic bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Even though it was impressive. But let's be real. You're gonna let this guy just balance on you? Like if you're Bandito, like you're just gonna let him just do that to you? Like even if it was just for a few seconds, he could have just fucking, you know.
Well, you see, Jimmy, with the nerves and the trapezius being impinged by the feet, it was really like a nerve hold with the feet that he perpetrated when he got up there. So that stunned Bandito long enough for him to hit the house call. No, but on that point though, on that spot, like he did this jump up on this guy, house call to the head, and then followed that up with the swerve stomp, and that was not the finish.
Right, that should have been the finish. Right,
should have took it home right there because the crowd was so up on that spot. They popped huge. They came unglued. They got a 2 count out of it, and then they wrestled for a couple more minutes just for Swerve to beat him a different way. Completely killed it. Just shows how these guys don't do anything. And Professor,
that's how dumb they are, though. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't know any better. And Professor, this is what I mean. Like, we just saw Samoa Joe and Will Ospreay working a match, trying to tell a story, giving you like a more traditional look at some classic pro wrestling that might be able to fit in any era. Then to me, it felt like Swerve and Bandito come out and they put together a sequence of sequences that they could then run from A to Z and then end the match. Not any organic sort of struggle.
It was Macho fucking and Steamboat.
It's very much let's just go. Well, even Macho and Steamboat needed to like, even if they planned it, it didn't look planned.
Right.
That's the magic of why that match was so great, because people only found out years later that it was a script. They didn't think that.
That's what I meant by it.
This, it's like cooperative spot after cooperative spot. Because like you said, Jimmy, why is he going to let him stand on his shoulders like that? So every one of these spots that they set up is like, okay, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, because there is no organic transition to each of these things. It's just, let's do the next spot we planned.
Let's not forget, this was supposed to be the most personal match in the Owen Hart tournament. Let's not forget that. And yet, like you're saying, sequence after sequence after sequence. If this was a straight, like they just drew each other's names, fine. But you're supposed to have a backstory. You know, Swerve took out Brody, you know, and Bandito was trying to, you know, pick up his big brother at the end, and then Swerve beat the shit out of Bandito. He wanted the most wanted man for 10,000 pesos and shit like that. I kept saying this match should have been for the ROH title at Supercard of Honor, but they went with Blake Christian.
The way it was built.
Yeah, the way it was built. You want to have random sequence for Swerve, and then you should have drew somebody else. Should have drew a fucking somebody, Roddy Strong, for all I care. I'm just saying, that's the Owen Hart match. If you wanted something supposed to be personal, and you know what, Jimmy, and I'll say this, you know, that move that Bandito does is no different to me than 10 years ago. Even he's still doing it to this day. That fucking flip cutter that Jay Lethal does, that I'm supposed to wait and get stunned by him flipping when I could just kick you. You know, I'm going with logic. You know, same thing, but I'm going with logic. I'm going with back in the kids in the jungle gyms. I will kick you, not trying to get you to flip on me. No, I'm not doing that. It's just, again, certain moves they should think before they react.
And if you're gonna do that, then practice it as much as you can to where it looks legit. You know what I mean? Like, don't fucking just sit there and wait. Like, let your opponent just wait and look like a doofus. You know.
Well, number one, not to sell Bandito short. I mean, 10,000 pesos, Professor. I think you have that in your couch cushion somewhere. It's 10,000 American dollars is the bounty on his head, which is nothing to sneeze at. That's like a battle royal in AEW. So that's number one. But number two, we all know that this is really, or at least I know, maybe nobody else got it, but I did tell you. So if you forgot, I can't help you, but I'll remind you now. This Swerve, the most dangerous man, is going to be Will Ospreay's final test. Let's see.
What, Fat Swerve?
Be good to. Ooh,
have you noticed he's gained a lot of weight, but he looks chunkier than ever in this match too. Just quietly.
He's all gas
and just gas.
The end. You know what I mean? So,
oh, that's good.
But next we get oh shit, we forgot. We need another women's title match on the card, so we'll hastily throw together this 4-way match between Tekla, Hayter, Statlander, and Shida, and they get to say, but all of these women have held the championship before. It's a all-star women's championship fatal 4-way in the Grand Slam fleshing whatever match.
Louis Armstrong, whatever you can call all that.
The Spider retains. That's all that you need to know. She's
again,
toxic.
dumbness. This match was a lot of dumbness going on in this match as well.
Oh, it's so much dumbness.
Let me just say one thing before you go, Vet. I just want to say this. You know, I was on Twitter battling with sickos because I kept, you
really got to stop that.
No, I loved it. No, I loved it because then they blocked me, and then I know I won. So because they cannot defeat logic, they cannot defeat common sense. And I remember, somebody was complaining on Twitter about the women's division in AEW, and then to paraphrase it, I just said, dude, the reality is Tony only concentrated on Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné in their matches and logic and storylines. Everybody else was overshadowed. This match is exhibit A through Z of how, first of all, disorganized this match was set up. This was quickly set up, and there's no, they're not even building a strong contender for Tekla. Even the Owen Hart, we're even saying that if Athena is performing out of this and could come out of this, she's the strongest contender for Tekla. But nobody in the women's division in AEW, until either Mercedes Moné comes back or Toni Storm comes back, even provides a considerable threat to Tekla. This match was a waste. This was 20 minutes out of my time. This was a Dynamite main event. This is a Collision main event. I'm sorry to say that. And these are 4 qualified women. But
right.
Tony's not doing anything.
But mind you, it was every woman for themselves, yet we had Statlander getting upset over what friggin'
her car.
What's her name? Yeah, well, she was like, come on, girls.
Yeah, the heel turn that no one asked for and everybody knew was coming.
Anyway.
As I listened to this, I realized that Alex Windsor is going to win the Owen tournament because it's going to be Tekla that breaks the hearts. Not, I for some reason I was thinking I forgot all about Tekla in this whole thing, which is bad marketing. Because I was thinking of like the Owen finals at Wembley, but that's not what it's going to be. It's going to be her losing the title opportunity to Tekla. So Tekla will break the hearts of Alex Windsor. So that means Athena ain't winning this tournament, damn it. Which sucks.
Could be.
But yeah, I would have. I mean, this match would be fine to be on this show, but to me, I feel like
Vet, I'm sorry, I don't mean that, but are we going to be too predictable to have husband and wife celebrate in all, in Wembley?
Oh my God.
No, I'm saying Tekla will beat Windsor at Wembley.
Oh, I got you.
So okay. But they're gonna get there to make you think that's where they're going. Then we bring you down. Oh, she didn't do it. Maybe Will Ospreay won't do it, and then he does it, and everybody's happier. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
But I'm fine with this match being on this thing because it's a women's title match or whatever. And yeah, they didn't, properly build a contender or whatever. That's fine. We've seen worse. But I would just say that because all of the Owen Hart matches are just going to be on stuff like they're going to be on Dynamite and going to be on Collision. So I think that stuff like Will Ospreay versus Joe or stuff like Swerve versus Bandito should be better served as Dynamite main events necessarily than being on this pay-per-view. So that way we could get people home on time so they're not stranded and public transit, and stuck on bridges and shit, so like that would have been nice. But anyway, what's done is done. And what else has been done is a crime has been perpetrated. The football field fuckery match took place not on a football field, nor was there that much fuckery, because all of the cinematics were done pre-entrance. We got pre-entrance cinematics.
They were good though. They're well done. I'll give them that. Actually, AEW did well with that shit. I felt anyway.
Sure. But as opposed to actual stadium stampedes in the past, like, I was talking about the time when I listened to my show from 6 years ago reviewing the very first one, and me saying I contemplated quitting watching wrestling altogether after that. Moving forward now, 6 years on, where we're still doing this, it's quite a bit different. Like, it's much more toned down.
Yeah, it is.
Stadium Stampede means nothing anymore. It's just a 7-on-7 tornado tag match, really. That's all it is, which is basically Anarchy in the Arena, which is really just all different names for the same thing.
I don't know what
that'd be no different than an I Quit Street Fight. It's just whatever bullshit hat-on-hat stipulations that you come up with, or names that you come up with, they're essentially just guys wandering around and doing comedy hardcore match spots. So
just because you had it on your first show or whatever the case may be, doesn't mean you have to have it every year. And that's the thing. No, we don't need War Games every year. We don't need Stadium Stamp. Well,
unless it's cold.
But the name itself, we don't need every year, Jimmy. I'm saying this, but like Vet said, we've already have Anarchy in the Arena. We have Texas Tornado matches. It's the same thing. You're just IP, intellectual property saying it's Stadium Stampede, which is it's the same shit.
Yeah, I didn't want to see a cinematic match in a football stadium. I didn't want to see that. Don't get me wrong, but that is what this was originally.
Supposed to be,
because it was born out of the pandemic. So that's why they did it the way they did it, and this was just not that. They could have done it, but they didn't do it. So
they didn't take my advice. They didn't rent out Citi Field, because I think, this is just me, Jimmy. I'm just going to say this. I know that, Vet, you feel a certain way about the first actual Stadium Stampede because of the circumstances, but I think we don't need that match. Doesn't need fans. That's why I say you need an empty field to do all that cinematic shit. That's what it was made for. And when you have 14 people in this match, it's a clusterfuck. So we don't need all that. So maybe that's why you need an empty field. So this
first one was separated.
Yeah,
everyone was separated. They're doing different things like throughout the match, which made more sense.
I understand that you paid your hard-earned money. You want to see, you get to see maybe Bobby Lashley and Ricochet going at it, or you pay to see. You want to see Kenny Omega on the other side beating up Mark Davis. Fine, I understand that, but cinematically, I would rather watch it on the Tron in an empty field like Citi Field would have been perfect for me. I'm just saying, that's just me. I think that's the only match that needs empty fans.
Essentially what you did here, because it's really just semantics, right? You called it one thing and you gave us another thing. So it's like, this would be like if you told people they were getting a Royal Rumble and then you just started all 30 guys in the ring and did a normal battle royal. You didn't have to call it a Royal Rumble. You could have called it a battle royal, but you said Royal Rumble, so you lied to me. That's basically what we're talking about here. We were promised a football field fuckery match, and we got an Anarchy in the Arena match. You lied.
We got a tennis stadium showdown.
Yeah, and guess what? No matter whether there's fans, no fans, 7 people, 5 people on a team, whatever, it sucked. I'm sorry. If you like this, you're an asshole. So, did you guys like this?
No,
I'll walk off the show right now.
No.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it because the wrong team won.
And plus, what was it, suits versus fucking bums? What was this? I mean, seriously.
Again, it's the theme of the Stadium Stampede, Jimmy, because again, like the first one, you was wearing the garbs. Well, the villains were wearing the garbs.
Like, you're gonna wear fucking suits?
They were badass suits, though.
They looked great on them. Don't get me wrong, but fuck, like, come on.
Well, Tony Schiavone at one point during this says, "Oh, this is fun, isn't it?"
When he says
No.
like that, you so know he's
No,
talking,
but he's so checked out. Like they
yeah.
don't even know how to say what they're looking at. I'm not even gonna rehash any of the shit that went on in this. You can if you want, but I'm not gonna put it over. All I can say is,
Vet, do you think that Tony Khan went into Tony Schiavone's ear and said, "Can you just point out, isn't this fun watching this?" Do you think Tony Khan would do that?
He might, but I think Tony would just do that as a rib anyway, because what else can you say? You can't call it seriously. You know what I mean? It's like Tony Schiavone can't be like, oh, these devastating tennis balls. Like, just there's no way. So all I had to say, this is my final notes on the match, guys. Right. Okay. Number 1, poor Bishop. Okay. poor Bishop. And number 2, poor Sabu.
Oh, you know, when Jericho at the end.
This is a guy that I guarantee you he would have shit all over this if he had seen it.
100%.
So don't attach this man's memory, and that was months ago anyway. Don't attach this man's memory to this. Show some respect, Chris.
He would have shit on
this is why I fucking hate Chris Jericho now. Like, I used to be a fan of his, but shit like that, like jumping through a table after the match and pointing to the sky, like trying to connect poor Sabu to this bullshit.
He's such a grifter, bro.
No, we named it Succubus.
Yeah, exactly. He's a succubus. What's the male version? But that's the female version. It's incubus, whatever, isn't it?
Yeah.
But again, he's a
succubus. They're all vampires. It doesn't matter.
He's a non-binary succubus, Jimmy.
Even a vampire is cool.
Hey, I gave him the name first. I called him a succubus, if you remember.
A vampire is supposed to be cool, guys, but a leech also sucks blood, and they're not cool. Nobody thinks a leech is cool, and that's what.
And a mosquito too, Vet.
Well, I think leech is more fitting.
Yeah, leech is pretty bad, though. That's true.
At least the mosquito flies away when it's.
Yeah, well, that's also.
Chris Jericho just hangs on and gets fatter like a leech.
Yeah, like a leech, right? 100%.
All right, so we're at the main event.
Leeches.
Main event time, Jimmy.
How are we already? Fuck.
Maxwell, Jacob Friedman. Yeah, our show's not as long as their show. Versus Darby freaking Allin.
Yep.
He has I wrote down his name now. He's a freaking now.
I added that. That's mine.
Where do we start?
I wrote down in my notes here the intros for this match. They had Justin Roberts say like these extra little things, and I thought it was corny. But again, after watching the Triple F match right before this, who could complain anymore about anything? Like, what, we're done complaining after what I just watched, and then Jericho jumping through a table at the end. There's no complaining left to do. Whatever these guys do, it's a free pass. Okay. So anyways, I like the match, guys. Headlock takeover story. I like how they always work that in there.
Always, but
yeah. 20 minutes in the match, they did that great sequence with all the cradling pins and the bridges and the stuff, and the, you know, it actually looked like a wrestling match. So yeah, I liked all that stuff, and you know, you knew MJF. I mean, anybody with a brain knew MJF was going to win. So he did win. He won with his headlock.
Wait a minute. Check the tape. Somebody was asking, could they? Could they let?
Hey, but I still stuck with MJF in the end. All right, I just said, what if? But I still went with MJF though.
I'm just saying.
If I went with fucking Darby, that's one thing, but I didn't. I was just putting it out there. But could they? I mean, they could have, but they didn't, and thank God they didn't.
All I remember.
When you guys were talking about it, it made sense, right? He was gonna lose. He's been fucking. Look at the way he's been wrestling. That's the build to this match. When you think about it,
but
is the way he's been. I know,
but you know why I popped?
He's tired. You know,
when you put that out in the air, it was Vet's content creator face. What? You actually said this? That's all it was. That's what I loved about it. That's why I loved it.
No, but he called it too. Like, to be honest, even the Vet called, like, as in when he laid it out, like it's true. It made sense.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
I play both sides, so I'm never wrong. No, I will talk about both sides, and then I'll make my mind up. A lot of the times, these guys will convince me too, like by the way they will say things, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, that actually makes sense, and then I'll make my choice based off that.
Well, Jimmy, do Do you think the mission was accomplished? Did the match live up to the story they told?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was good enough. I wouldn't say like it was the best match I ever saw, but yeah, it did. You know what I mean? It made total sense, except the way he always beats Darby with that friggin' with the headlock takeover is just.
But that's the exclamation of their story for many years.
I know, but that's always the thing. Like it's always the thing, and Darby just can't get over it. I know one day he probably will. Obviously, eventually you'll get past it. But it's just funny that he keeps winning that same way, and that same way always beats him, considering everyone throws everything at Darby, and they can never get him, for the most part. But here we are with a headlock takeover, bang. That's it. That's the only thing, but it makes sense.
Jimmy, the headlock takeover he's beaten before the headlock takeover even happens. That's the point.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's like the insult. But anyway.
Right.
So that was that. Well, I mean, Professor, what about you? Did you feel it lived up to? Were you satisfied with the conclusion of this? And I'm not talking about the conclusion, the shocking conclusion of the shocking conclusion, but just the
because of the shocking conclusion, Vet, I wish that would have played into the match more. Does that make sense? Because then that would have made everything actually validate. Even Darby's like, oh, I've been defending the title every week, every day. I'm tired. I can't do this. And then he just gets off guard. That's the way I would have done it. But again, we saw something that was predictable that was going to happen. And again, we can, for the next show, can debate whether this was a transitional reign or transitional run. Was it necessary? Was it worth it? And I could say, this would have been better last year when it was a proper story, a proper build. So that's the thing I'll say. But for the match, it is what it is.
It is what it is. That's Izzy Dame's catchphrase, and you can hear it every Tuesday night for NXT, and you can hear me and Ray talk about it every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for the Next Level Wrestling review for Izzy Dame catchphrases. But here we have another WWE-like person as Kevin the Jet Knight comes out after
Kevin Willie. Let's talk about it.
Jet Willie runs off MJF. How dare you try to, celebrate over this man's dead body and perhaps cause him further harm? Get out of here. Can't you see this man needs help? He needs medical attention. He needs to be on a stretcher right now. And he is on a stretcher. And then Kevin Willie hits the craziest splash on a guy on a stretcher since Jacob Fatu was in MLW as he does a UFO and Darby falls down. And this is a shocking turn. And who could have seen this coming other than me? Jet Willie is just going to be the most evilest person who's ever lived and break everyone's hearts. But there is a good reason for that. We just don't know it yet. Now, Professor.
I'll say this. While all the other podcasts and maybe people in social media were kind of laughing at what Kevin Knight was turning into, Jimmy, remember
I was saying these two, by the way.
No, everybody was kind of saying that the Trick Williams, but I think we should get a little bit of flowers here, and how many nights will understand where I'm going with this, because we were actually talking about the evolution of Kevin Knight while in Jet Speed. We were talking about Kevin Knight long before.
J12 said it right there. Look.
Right. I'm just saying we talked about it, and we also talked about it on this show that Kevin Knight was going to be a heel even before they were even talking about it, because he looked better. The character was better because he was turning into it. Whether he was turning into Trick Williams, that's neither here nor there. But we said it, you said it, I said it, Vet said it. We thought that Kevin Knight would be a better suited heel for what he's turning into, and it worked out. And that's why I said, for the conclusion, I'm fine with it, because it was like, oh, validation. I knew something was going to happen with Kevin Willie. Let's talk about it. But maybe Kevin Willie, because again, as predictable as MJF, that maybe this is just me like nitpicking too much. I'll admit that. But Darby overcame a lot of odds in his 9 title defenses, right? The Pacs and the Sammy Guevaras and the shit like that, and the Takeshkas. But he found a way to win. But that meant he was very focused by any means necessary. By this time, in his 10th title match, Kevin Willie, let's talk about it, would have been the perfect distraction, and for him to lose focus, for him to lose the match. That's the way I would have said. Because it just makes it like, you can either play it two ways. He's too tired to overcome the odds, or he could be too not focused. Like, oh, that's my friend. Like he's getting, I thought my friend was going to help me out, or like have my back. That's the thing.
Great
That's
point.
The thing
Great point. That's actually a great point, Prof.
But I can accept, Jimmy, that he's too tired.
No, I know. Yeah, no, it's good enough. Absolutely, I get that.
Still good enough. But I'm just saying that maybe the distraction, like he loses focus. That's all I'm saying.
No, absolutely.
This is an uncharacteristic, smarter bit of booking that they did here, because
uncharacteristic.
You don't need if Kevin Willie comes out, you're tipping your hand.
True.
Okay, so it's we've seen Kevin. We've seen many situations where, up to this point, where it looks like, as longtime wrestling fans, you look at the situation, you read the room, and you're like, oh, Kevin's going to turn on so-and-so right here. And they don't. He just shakes their hand, raises their hand, everybody's friends, and they go home, and it's on to the next week. Right? So if he comes out here at the end after the match is over to run off MJF from his dastardly deeds, you're just going to assume that he's just going to help up Darby like he always does and all this other stuff and everything like that. So it's more shocking of a swerve to do it the way they did it, because AEW has no problem ending shows on anticlimactic, normal circumstances. However, you also have to think about Will Ospreay in this situation. Why Will Ospreay? What does Will Ospreay have to do with this? Well, Will Ospreay is the one that's got to climb all the mountains to become the AEW champion. And the higher the mountains that he has to climb, meaning MJF doesn't need anybody's help to beat Darby. He still cheated. He still got heat, but he didn't need Kevin Knight to do that. He beat Darby on his own. So it makes Max more dangerous for Will when Will eventually has to face Max. Now, we can debate, and we already have debated, and I think we've run the debate into the ground about whether they should have ever sacrificed MJF's heat at the altar of Darby Allin's little run here. They did well with it. I think they did as good as they possibly could have with it, but I think we still all agree it would have been stronger for MJF to be the champion this whole time. So you got to get him some of that back. And I think doing it on his own, I say, is a better way towards that end. Everything that's harder for Will makes his victory that much sweeter. So they actually did it right, but, and now we've got somewhere to go with it, because not only did the Jet not, interfere in the match and cost him, but he didn't turn on his own partner either.
Right.
At this point, which is how these things always do. And now the professor was wanting it, and I told him, no, you don't want it. You're just saying that.
You did say
Stop just saying that. Nobody wants that. And now we're going to get this. We're going to get exactly what we wanted, but we got it a different way. So it's more refreshing. And we're going to talk about that soon, because we got Dynamite here.
We do. Okay?
And they start out, now this was a mistake, because they start out Dynamite with supposedly something that happened on Sunday during Double or Nothing, where we see Will Ospreay in the trainer's room with Kenny, and they do this sort of TNA style where like the camera's shooting in the crack of the door. So it's kind of like, which I prefer this. It lets them know, like, the camera is not really in their face while they're saying all this stuff, because otherwise, why wouldn't they tell them get out of here?
Right.
But, so they do it this way with the voyeuristic approach, and he basically the long and short of it is, Kenny's telling Will Ospreay, "Why do you have to go to the Death Riders for help? You could have come to me for help." And Will Ospreay saying, "Well, you weren't here to come to for help. You're always gone." And and he's like, and then Kenny Omega's like, well. Kenny Omega's a nice enough guy to not bring up the fact. He's like, well, I did have an intestinal problem, but never mind. So he doesn't say that, but he does say that you got to be careful about the Death Riders. And then John Moxley comes in. He's like, yeah, that's good advice. Be careful. And then, there's that.
Let me just say this, because, and this has nothing to do with the show, guys. I'll just say this. I'm just going to speak for social media. Social media is worried here because they feel like they're trying to tip their hat in, is Kenny Omega gonna find a way to win the title before All In, Vet. They're saying, I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying that they're tipping, like, this is what they're saying. They're tipping that head that they want to see in the main event of All In Wembley Stadium for Will's journey. He should beat Kenny Omega for the belt, not MJF.
So then all this doesn't mean anything.
Right. I'm just putting it out there on the ether for the Homie Nights and for Vet to laugh at this, but I'm just putting this segment scares a lot of people on social media. Like, you're really tipping your hat. Do you want Kenny Omega to be the champion before All In Wembley? So this way we get that.
How do they take it like that? I don't understand how they
because
take it
that's
like
because Jimmy, that's why they sit there and we sit here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That'd be like a child getting a bedtime story read to them by their parents, and the parent says, "Once upon a time," and the kid's like, "And they live happily ever after, right? Don't they live happily ever after at the end?" Like, shut the fuck up. Let people tell you the story first. Quit having ideas. You want to be creative so bad, getting your own little micro wrestling leagues or whatever online, and maybe you too can be a billionaire that buys his own company and books his own shit too. God,
you're right, but it's stupid.
And that's fandoms everywhere. Anybody that likes anything can make you ashamed that you also like it, no matter what it is. You know what I mean? Like any fan can make you ashamed of being a fan of something. You're just like, I'm not with these people. I don't know them. They're not representing me. So anyway,
I just put it out there. I'm not saying I agree with it. It's just out in the ether.
Fine, let them have it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what they open with that, which I don't think they should have, because they could have put that anywhere on the show. They should have opened with what they did next, which was the Jet coming out, because that's the last thing you saw on Double or Nothing. So it should be the first thing that you see on Dynamite, because if you cared at the end of Double or Nothing, that means you're probably going to be there with bells on to watch to watch Dynamite as soon as it comes on the air. So you're going to want to hear the answer to the question, why, Kevin, why? So here he comes out, and his explanation was, hey, I told Darby not to let everybody down, and he let everybody down. So I had to whoop his ass. So
I'll say this. This is not a heel turn, because he actually said, Darby, don't let the Jet down. Let's talk about it.
It's a nuance. It's a nuance is what we call this.
It's very nuanced. So it's because, Jimmy, remember, there is no clear-cut heel. There's no clear-cut, well, there are clear-cut baby faces, but the heel thing is that, look at Jon Moxley, there's never no clear-cut heel. So Kevin Bailey, let's talk about it. It's not a clear-cut heel until non-binary Bailey comes out.
Well, yeah, if you want to talk about a clear-cut baby face, this guy could never be a heel.
Why did he not take the hanger out of his suit? That suit, really, like he's wearing like an old 1950s like jumpsuit with a hanger still stuck in his back. I was waiting for no shoes.
That's what happens when you buy off the rack.
Right. But he had shoes on. You don't wear shoes. At least be consistent. Be true to your character. You don't wear no shoes while you're wrestling. Why wear shoes with your suit?
He probably,
logic.
The catering probably told him no shoes, no service or something. I don't know. But anyway, he does come out and he says, Kevin, you did what you did, but I think everything will be all right if you just apologize. So
to who? Wait a minute. Let's see, Veg. Now we talk about destinations and journeys. Kevin Willie got to apologize to Mike Bailey for what? You said it. He didn't turn on his tag team partner. He turned on a friend.
No, he said apologize to Darby is what he was saying.
Yeah,
he wanted his apology first.
Well,
if you heard the nuance, you said it, nuance. Then this is the new apology. This is a grandstanding affection apology to me. Even though you turned on Darby, you hurt me first. I felt it more than Darby getting fucking taken out on the stretcher. Let's talk about it. That's the thing.
So you took it like he wanted to apologize to Speedball? Like Speedball wanted an apology?
Was an arrogant apology, like you hurt me, even though you didn't hurt me physically.
I didn't take it like that either.
I didn't take it like that either. Maybe, but that was days ago. I've forgotten exactly how it went down. But in my mind, the memory was that it was more like he's trying to say, like, I think if you apologize to Darby, everything will be all right. I mean, sure, you could apologize to me too if you want. But what he doesn't do is he doesn't apologize to anybody. He bonks Mike Bailey with the mic. And guys, as a result of this, I think Jet Speed merchandise is 75% off now at shopaew.com. If you want to pick up anything that you had your eyes on, I'm sure you can get it at a nice price right now. And moving on, anything else to say about that, Jimmy, or are we good to move on?
Speedball's gonna, he might as well kiss his career goodbye right now.
Wait a minute, buddy.
If non-binary followed my trend weeks ago, I told y'all he should have been the one that took the legs out of Kevin Whitley. Let's talk about it. We would actually have a different pathway if we. But go ahead, babe. Next, on to me.
I think you're doing your own micro league booking here.
Yes, I love it.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Renee is with the demand, and they say Chris Jericho sucks. That's kind of what I said. And then we get Jericho versus Ricochet with everyone banned from ringside. So this is a Continental Championship qualifying match? I don't know. Maybe something like that. They don't really say that. Well, Chris Jericho got his win back after landing his fat body on Ricochet's face with that poor excuse for a lion salt. But, that's not the main story. We're just moving off of one bald guy with a beard onto another one as Ciampa shows up and attacks Chris Jericho from behind, Professor. I mean, how ignominious, how anticlimactic, how other $5 words that Chris Jericho just beats Ricochet and then we're just moving on and forget about you.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing. That's the thing. It's like the wrong team won at Stadium Stampede or Anarchy in the Arena, whatever you would call it. Retribution for Jericho. He got the win on Double or Nothing. So what's the retribution you need? Oh, I needed to beat Ricochet with my lion salt, which he botched, by the way. But again, he's 53 or 54 years old, so I could give him a pass on that. But Bald Brothers Unite. No, it didn't matter because Tommaso Ciampa just wanted to beat the shit out of him. But again, if you did the Bald Brother, you know what would have been funny? But again, this is WWE. I'm sorry for WWE logic here, Homie Nights, but he could have just rubbed Ricochet's bald head. I got you, man. I got your back. Bald Brothers Unite. Because he's crazy. He's a crazy SOB psychopath and could have took him out. And then Ricochet could have just walked his, and walked away from it. He could have moved on.
Well, we didn't get any of that.
Exactly. That's why the bell rang.
Yeah, what do you think, Jimmy? Anything about?
No, like I said just before, this is just. I don't know. I mean, what can I say about this? I mean,
what can you say? Andrade, I'll tell you what he could say. He could say, "How'd you know?" Because he can focus on MJF now that stupid football field match is over. The one that was actually an arena match, but now he can focus on MJF. So everybody still remembers they have their eyes on the prize. And I like that. Whether you're heel or a babyface, you remember, hey, wait a minute. There's only one belt, and it doesn't have an alignment. I want it. So
with a weird smirk on his face, mind you.
Yeah, with a weird smirk. But we get a Superstation Showcase match next.
Why?
What does that mean? Hell if I know. But apparently the winner gets a title shot. So it's Orange Cassidy versus Rush versus Roosh versus Cage. I realize as I write all this out that 3 of the guys in this match have the same name as somebody else somewhere in the company. But nonetheless, this turns into a schmaz, even though it's a fatal 4-way, it turns into a
someone's
schmaz
back.
Where Jake Doyle returns, Jimmy. Jake Doyle is back. He's back.
The man without a name originally.
Yeah, and the conglomeration and Brian Cage and Orange all fight to the back, and that leaves Roosh with Rush, and Roosh gives Leo Rush a beating and gives him the Hearns, and Roosh is the #1 contender, I guess.
By the way, we forgot to mention on Double or Nothing about fucking Rush, Leo Rush, and the Bobby Lashley spot, which kind of made me laugh. But anyway,
I didn't forget.
Well, I just wanted to point that out.
Okay. Well, you could talk about the spot here within the Superstation Showcase, which never heard of that one in my life, but neither here nor there. But Leo Rush and Orange Cassidy spot, that was actually very enjoyable, where Orange Cassidy was very timid doing his spot. So, you do the right thing there. But, I hate to be a guy that says, check my archives, but if you didn't take advantage of Leo Rush, you didn't do the job right, because now he's an after effect, and now he's just there to to put other people over, and now Roosh gets his shot at the title, which I didn't even know was supposed to be. When the hell did fucking Brian Cage move to the fact to becoming, if he won, that he was going to be a number one contender? Who did he beat? Nobody. He even lost his match when he came back.
He lost.
How did he get a chance?
That's a good variation on his catchphrase. Who better? Like, who'd he beat? Nobody. Well, Renee is with MJF. We know who he beat. And before MJF could say anything, the Jet immediately steps in and says, "Hey, I didn't do anything for you. I just did what I said I was going to do, and I'm still coming after that title. Jet 2 belts." And then Kyle Fletcher comes in, and he's like, "Hey, I like that TNT Championship. I think I want it back." So there you go. We got multiple heel versus heel angles here.
Yeah. So we need.
And then Renee is with the Brawling Birds, and Windsor finally brings up the fact that she has some connection to Will Ospreay. She finally brings up Willie Goat.
Yeah, finally, after that Billy Goat was kidnapped weeks prior, we even said wasn't concerned, hasn't been concerned about these training sessions with the Death Riders.
No.
Especially being trained by the man that took him out 6 months ago. But again, it's all right.
Well, she's been busy drinking, throwing back the pints at the pub with Jamie, so that's probably why she hasn't been. But it's time for the 3X celebration. That's right. MJF has got the Triple B back, and we're going to celebrate, and he gets a throne ride as a bunch of men carry him out on a big throne. And then Mark Briscoe comes in, and Mark Briscoe has been dyeing his beard and going to the gym lately, I've noticed on this friggin' thing. He's definitely looking like he wants to be a main event player here. And he asks if MJF, of course he's going to challenge MJF, and they've got a long history of matches, and he's asking MJF, is he going to be a soft bitch or is he going to man up? And MJF says, "I'm going to be a soft bitch," and he leaves. And then Roosh comes out as he's going up the ramp, and Roosh is coming down, and Roosh says it's funny that this guy's a chicken farmer and you're a chicken shit. And MJF likes that, and he's like, Roosh is more marketable than Mark Briscoe, so I'll give him the title shot.
This is where he lost me.
Yeah.
I said this weeks ago. You remember? I said MJF brought stability. I don't mind that Kevin Willie, let's talk about it, looked at him for the belt. I don't mind Mark Briscoe saying he wants a title shot. I don't mind Andrade. But MJF's the puppet master. MJF is the manipulator. Let them all fight each other to get the major prize. But once he said, Roosh, you get a title shot, and he was a little bit goaded into giving the title shot, but let's be honest with that. That was like, wait a minute.
Call him a chicken shit.
Right. So what? But again, I'm the man. I got the Triple B. I make the rules. I call the shots. You're not gonna goat me into this. That's the thing. You go to him just because of chicken shit. Come on, man. This is MJF, the devil. How does the devil gets butthurt feelings for being called chicken shit? He's the devil. I was like, nah, don't do the open challenge now. Let them earn it like the old ways.
Well, he saw an opportunity to lock horns with a fellow hornhaver, so he decided to take it. Also, it was the way I looked at it. Now, your points are all valid, but heels don't have to make sense. That's the best part about being a heel. But the way I look at it is the sense of like, yeah, if MJF were really smart, the last person he'd want to fight is this guy. Right. But it's also a thing of like, well, Mark Briscoe came out and challenged, and right in his face, I'm going to take a different challenge than him. I thought it was like an insult to Mark Briscoe that he's taking Roosh's challenge, even though we're talking about the parties involved, that doesn't really make sense because, they're both equally dangerous, if not Roosh more dangerous. But that's just how I look at it. It's like, oh, you want a title shot? Well, you can't have one. Well, I'll give him, matter of fact, I'll give it to this guy. So it could have been anybody. But that's basically how that went. Now, the way this next one goes is an Owen Hart title match that's definitely not worthy of pay-per-view. Not so. This is Claudio versus Brody King. I just put a yawn emoji right here, and then Brody wins with a clothesline. I guess that's just his. That's you don't
Strong
even get
win.
the pile driver thing.
Strong win though. This is a strong win.
Yeah,
technically it is right.
Yeah. Moving right along, CSC Wrestling Factory go for a 5-second pose. I'm definitely condensing all this down. They take a long time. They're actually handing out disposable cameras, and they have to explain to the audience what those are. And then the dogs
Which is
come
actually
out
true
and
because
rob.
you saw the faces of young 20-year-olds. Like, what is
Sure.
this? I got a smartphone. I take my pictures from a smartphone. What is this disposable camera? It's actually true to life.
Well, the idea that there's flash photography and not taking into account that you can put a flash on your phone as well. So you don't really even need a disposable camera. Neither here nor there. The dogs come out, rob the fans, and then they get, they get their heat. Well, here's the question that I have to you guys. I'll ask Professor. What was more heat in this segment? The beatdown that they gave CNC, or Christian saying that FTR is the best tag team they ever faced? Which one had more heat with you?
Which one had more heat? Christian saying FTR. The FTR line.
You really are the fairest man.
Yeah, of course.
You are. We need to create a title for you now. The fair champion.
Most objective.
FTW fairest.
Most objective man. I always say it.
All right.
Not a gimmick. It's my life.
What do you think is the best team that CSC Wrestling Factory ever faced, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, definitely FTR.
Okay, interesting.
Come on, I'm with Christian here, bro. Come on.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah,
you're just trying to keep him away from your mother. That's all.
Yeah, well, yeah, I am.
Prince Nana and Swerve both cut a promo on Brody King. Ty J face Ava Everett and Allie Ketch. You can imagine what happened there. Speedball challenges the Jet backstage. He's like, all right, you want to attack me? I'll give you a match. So that'll happen. The short bus drops off Special Needs Kid for his match versus Dunkzilla here. I mean, you guys know well, you guys know how I feel about both these guys for different reasons. But
very dangerous people here. Very dangerous.
I will say that 20 minutes and a pile driver off the second rope to beat a Make-A-Wish kid is an awful lot of respect being shown by Mark Davis. An awful lot of respect.
He's a pillar, remember?
That's true.
So hey,
I always got to remember that.
You got to remember, bro.
Yeah. So, anything else to say about that?
But like you say, Vet, for Billy Goat, because now we could look at it from the Billy factor, the level of the people. Dunkzilla, one of the most dangerous men, and let's not forget, he took him out. I think it was a doctor's discretion by stopping the match against Mark Davis. So now you got story going into the Owen for the next match.
Right. I'm just saying it would help the story if he beat Jungle Jack a little quicker than 20 minutes. Just a little bit. That's all.
True.
Doesn't seem that dangerous to me, but I mean, he didn't even have his knife, so like what? Anyway.
But
Collision hour.
His eye was hurting though. He was
that's
fighting
true.
with one eye.
He had an eye patch.
Yeah.
Collision starts with Renee in the ring with Don and old Dunkzilla there, fresh off his victory, and they're saying, "Hey, look out, Will Ospreay," and Takeshita can suck a dick, and then here comes Kyle Fletcher and Rocky Romero for some ungodly reason. He says, I really wanted to reunite with my old buddy Takeshita and get Protoshita back, but Takeshita's too selfish. All he cares about is himself, and while I was hurt, all he did was win matches like a selfish bastard.
A selfish prick. He called him.
So here comes Takeshita and the conglomeration. And Takeshita, they run them out of there, and Takeshita's like, "I want you."
I'm afraid for Takeshita because I don't want him to turn into Ishii. I thought Ishii is part of the conglomeration, unless there's a Japanese version of the conglomeration. I don't know about New Japan. If y'all can confirm on that one, but I don't want him to turn into Ishii. I'm just saying.
Well, he's not going to turn into Ishii because Ishii's still available. So we're going to have a team of Takeshita and Ishii.
I don't know.
We could call it Takeshi Ishii.
Takeshi Ishii.
Yeah. So then Will Ospreay comes on the screen and is like, "Hey, Mark Davis," and then he basically reminds us everything the professor already reminded us, and then that's it. And then Mox bounces in and out of the screen. Like literally bounces in like a rabbit and bounces back out, and Will Ospreay goes for a fist bump and everybody leaves him hanging. So the next match is Will and Moxley and Pac versus the Rascals. Why? Just because.
I forgot about the Rascals, you know that.
So did everyone.
You don't watch ROH, again. Jimmy. You don't watch ROH.
Oh, they really have. They been on ROH.
They've been racking up wins in ROH, but here against the Death Riders, it's a little bit of tappa.
tappa. Yeah. Yeah, well.
Mm-hmm.
Losers, like the NWS song used to say.
Speaking of tapping out, Samoa Joe's leaving the ops for a little bit. He'll be gone for a couple months. Got to do some Hollywood stuff, as he said. So
hopefully Twisted Metal season 3.
Oh yeah. Can't believe that's still going. But Hook is now probably in charge again. So we'll see. Let's see. A little package on Stat Sheeta. Lexi finds Ty J on a beat down from Divine Dominion. And they're like, that didn't take 5 minutes. And then we get Andrade versus Ace Austin. And guys, I don't even know if you watched Collision. Did you guys even watch this? Jimmy, you can be honest.
No, I watched this.
Okay, Professor? No? Okay, Jimmy. Yeah. Am I wrong, or did Andrade beat this motherfucker in the break?
Yeah, no, he did. That's what it seemed like. But was that intentional, though? That's another thing.
Clearly, because the referee will tell them when they're coming back. So I guess they were just want to let you know anything can happen in AEW. But
that's not
but the way I know this is
you mean I was looking at Pizza Hut commercial, and then in that little window, Andrade was beating the brakes, and he beat him in the match. That's how it worked. Oh my god!
So here's how I know this. Why it's even a question, because I'm watching a feed where this person that's uploaded this saw fit to cut out the commercials. So I go from Ace Austin and Andrade having a match. Then they obviously go, they do the pitch to break. And then the next edit is Andrade already having won for several seconds and celebrating. And I was just like, oh my God, he beat this kid in the break.
See, for me,
I mean, anybody that's watched it at home, you could confirm this or deny this, but that's how I saw it.
I got the commercials, but I get to still watch the match during the commercials. So
yeah.
It looked normal to me, but even though I knew it was a break, though, because you can tell by everything's different during the break. The way the commentators
you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care if this is nuanced right now. I don't care if it's 2026 and we're gonna try something new. I don't want to go back to Jim Cornette, but even Jim Cornette would tell you don't win during the breaks. You can't do that. And even if you do, you roll the tape. That's what they always say. You roll the tape to see what happened during the commercial. Did they do that? So then you messed up twice. Because
that's the thing. Like Jimmy's saying, to them, it never left the screen. So the match was on the whole time. So why would they rewind it? But look, to be fair, I'm learning this whole fairness thing because I'm just so unfair. But I'm trying it out. It's unrealistic that no match ever in the history of time could ever end during a break. It had to happen sometime. It finally happened. And if I was Ace Austin, me being the first person that happened to would be a big message to me.
That's a huge message.
Yeah.
Sure.
But as a great man once said, who cares about that? Because it's time for the lights out match. A Philly street fight.
Because we're in Philly.
Yeah. And they fight in the streets. It's Statlander versus Sheeta. The grudge that's been boiling over for a couple of
24
weeks.
hours.
Now this you needed to add an I quit stipulation on top of the street fight also.
Right.
Maybe they thought it was too soon, but
yeah,
it is a lights out. So that is the hat on the hat here. They did turn the lights out. Justin Roberts said AEW is not responsible. Whatever. They had their match. Harley Cameron came out at the end of this with a kendo stick, and Statlander beat Sheeta, the bejesus out of Sheeta with it. And then that was already after she did the Saturday Night Fever through a table. And that wasn't enough to win. Then she beat the shit out of her with a kendo stick and gave her one more Saturday Night Fever in the ring. But so I understand it was supposed to be poetic justice. Like, oh, look, I'm using the stick on you like you use the stick on me. But it's completely unnecessary. Anyways, Statlander goes over. Yeah. And Jimmy's falling asleep. And I understand.
I haven't fallen asleep.
Now the biggest
fallen asleep.
There's one big question right now. And this is where Tony Khan is very consistent. We got this supposed blow-off match. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Sheeta lost, whatever the case may be. But remember, certain women or certain people in AEW, once you lose or something happens, we don't see somebody for the next 3 to 6 months. So now let's look at our watches and time a Sheeta return on television. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying that she won't be back on next week or hopefully Collision. I hope she is. But the way Tony Khan prioritizes people, or they just disappear. Look at Thunder Rosa. She is in and out for like 6 months. One here, one sprinkle here, one sprinkle there. Same thing happens. So watch Sheeta.
Yeah, but she's a U.S. citizen, though.
No. I'm just saying for priority's sake. Certain people are just not on TV. Jimmy, you could again prove me wrong. They just disappear for 6 months out of the time.
Yeah, you're right. And it's not just with the women, it's with the males too. I mean, these are what they do in AEW for whatever reason.
I think the problem is sometimes these people get injured and none of us care enough to actually follow up on that and see where they've been this whole time, and then they just show back up. I mean, I know that's what happened to Thunder Rosa. She got hurt. That's why she's fat now.
And Brian
Cage hasn't been able to exercise apparently. So, she's got to get back in ring shape. Lay off the chimichangas, Rosa.
Ooh.
That ass, but that
Rosa
ass.
knows I love her.
But that ass, though, woo.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, she does have an ass on it for sure.
But that's the thing. She had an ass when she was keeping it tight. So what?
That's true too.
Anyways,
she did.
Listen,
you adding the chimichangas. It's working for me,
guys. You know what else we added? A full episode of Collision to this extra bonus hour of Collision. Can you believe it?
This shit.
Who asked for this? No one, but it's here. Now, I know everybody was watching Los Noches de Grandes, and they didn't care about this.
That was actually after Collision. I think people were watching the NBA playoffs.
Well, I think most people were not going to choose this in any case, no matter what was going to happen. So that's what I was here for. I crammed it in on my lunch break, guys. So we can just blast through this real quick. And if you guys have anything to say, raise your hands. And I will call upon thee. I know you're the professor, but we'll just hand the reins over to me just for this 1 10-minute segment. Ciampa comes out in his full gear and a t-shirt for commentary on Takeshita and the conglomeration in the back. Well, actually, he didn't come out in commentary for that. Takeshita and the conglomeration are in the back, and Jimmy, the conglomeration, hands Takeshita his own backpack.
See, This is what I'm talking about. I know. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna raise my hand.
He's in there. Oh, yes. You?
I said, I'm warning them. Don't turn Takeshita into Ishii with these comedy bits for a Japanese wrestler. That's all I'm just saying.
He came from DDT, Prof. To be fair.
True. True. And Ishii did not get a backpack.
Exactly.
So.
Not yet, though. Not yet. Because he's injured. He's injured.
Yeah. So the match is Archer Vice versus Strong Orange Kyle, and the Trios champions retain their titles in this match.
That's a good one, B. I like it.
Ty J versus Divine Dominion Eliminator. Already. We're already here. It's on Collision. We're doing it. And guess what? Ty J lasts the 5 minutes. So now they will challenge for the championships. Matter of fact, they were on top. When time ran out, Ty was choking Lena. Like, you give up, bitch. She wouldn't do it. 5 minutes. There you go.
Now we understand.
These women, man.
We understand where Tony Khan is trying to make people want to watch Collision to keep a story like this. Even though, again, this is more perfect for that. You know, again, the biggest faux pas for Tony Khan is trying to get his AEW sickos to actually watch the Saturday night show, because even the sickos don't want to watch the Saturday night show. So you're putting something that's very important for Ty J on the B show. Technically, this should have happened this Wednesday. That's all I was
Just keep doing it, Tony. Just keep doing it. Eventually, they'll fall in line.
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. Wednesday recap, and then Ciampa goes in the ring because he's been on commentary this whole time. Like, he even did the commentary for that women's tag team match I'm talking about. Ciampa's still out there. Then he gets in the ring and he's like, why did I attack Chris Jericho? Because I hate Chris Jericho. And I have 1,004 reasons why I hate Chris Jericho. So he has the whole list, just like Chris Jericho did in WCW. This long ass piece of paper, and he's all the reasons he hates Chris Jericho.
His biggest fan all along.
Yeah, and he gives up on reading them halfway through it. Well, not halfway, not even a tenth of the way, not even a millionth of the way. He just reads a couple and then says, you know what? I'm going to kick your ass, Chris Jericho. It was funny because the promo he said was actually things that people have really said about Chris Jericho. So
Succubus.
That was odd. But,
the succubus. He just didn't want to say succubus.
Basically, he said everything
he
but
listened
succubus.
to us. Yes, he listened to us.
Well, if he listens to us, then please retire. Persephone is on commentary for Hazuki versus Maya World. Hazuki from Stardom.
Can I say something, Vet? Is this
Sure.
open auditions for wrestlers to commentate now? Are they auditioning for more?
Yeah, it was one of those type of nights.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
They're just hanging out. Yeah, so Hazuki, like I said, from Stardom, apparently she retired for a while and then came back recently, so she's back over there. Beats Maya World with her move, which is, I'm just going to call it the old top rope jump on you. I don't know what else to call it. Shivani recognizes Dennis Condrey. I know he died months ago, but Shivani does this whole thing. He gives a whole thing, and they show footage and pictures and stuff. And so it was very nice because they were in Huntsville, Alabama, where he's from. So they did that tribute there, which is very nice. Professor, did you enjoy this? Or yeah,
very much so.
Hey, you guys remember Lee Moriarty?
The cat?
No,
the pure champion of ROH.
I'm hearing no. So apparently we need a package to remind you who he is. Then Shane Taylor Promotions comes out, and then Shane gets to the commentary desk because it's his turn for commentary now. And it's Lee versus Tim Bosby.
Who the fuck is Tim Bosby?
Great question.
Bill Cosby's other illegitimate nephew.
Question.
Bill Cosby's illegitimate nephew with a B.
I wish.
Yeah, at least he had some sort of look to him, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see. So after that, the infantry get in the ring, and then they call Alabama dumb and stupid. And then Moxley and Pat came out and beat those guys. So that happened. Not only was everybody coming out for commentary, they were smoothly transitioning into every next segment here.
Weird.
Everybody's favorite heroes, Jimmy, right? The Death Brothers had to come out and save the day for Huntsville, Alabama.
That's right. We will defend the honor of Alabama.
And yeah, Moxley.
We're not
Pat, who else?
Hey, we've hit a woman or two in our angle. We know how it goes. Renee is with the Triangle of Madness, Jimmy.
Yes, as a matter of fact.
The Triangle of Madness.
There you go.
Yeah. So Tekla talks about dumb bitches, and then she tries to act like she's gonna stir it up with Dark Sky, because obviously she's in the Owen Hart tournament challenging for the
Sky.
Get that in there. Yeah. But psych, turns out she's not stirring it up with Dark Sky at all because she loves Dark Sky, and it's everybody else who's dumb bitches, not them. So there you go.
Well, she's with Carl Fletcher. Does that make her a dumb bitch, technically?
Maybe not in Tekla's eyes, but maybe.
Just saying.
They don't have to cross that path, Jimmy. That world is not. That's one world to another world.
True, they don't even acknowledge it on television. So yeah,
Kyle, don't injure her.
Yes.
Oh my God. They give me images.
The conglomeration is cutting a promo, and Leo Rush cuts through the promo with a little umbrella. He's got like one of those, like the Penguin from Batman. He's got an umbrella, and he just goes through the scene. And yeah, Orange Cass say something like, "Don't move. If you don't move, he can't see you," or something. Like. All right, the dogs are in the ring, and they got a new 5-second pose for you, everybody. Guns down. And then the lights go out, and it's guns up, because it's the guns. And then it's dogs versus guns. And Moxley's on commentary for this. And then the guns get put down, so it is guns down. And then Ace Juice run out to make sure the dogs don't beat them up any more than they already did.
They got dog walked out of there, huh?
Sure did.
Even though the Death Riders and the dogs are the mercenaries, I get why John Moxley's on commentary for that. I'll just say that, but poor guns, man, poor guns. Former AEW Tag Team Champions, and then that injury really derailed anything. Even the guns beat FTR, one of the greatest tag team matches of all time. I'm just. How you fall from
not the best matches of all time part, but the other part's true.
Well, Christian says it. It's true.
Oh, did Bleacher Report say it?
That too. Yeah.
Okay. Jet Speed has a package catching you up on their whole history. And we got a standby match. And they actually did it right this time, guys, because they said that what was the match earlier?
What? Before this
there was some match that was over the Lee Moriarty match was over so fast that we had time for a standby. Now this is how you do it. You have a standby match at the end of the show, not the beginning. You have one at the end, and they do a standby match with Jimmy Wild and Tommy Mars versus Brian Cage and Jake Doyle. Yeah, how it goes.
No more Dunkzilla and Doyle, I guess.
And not for now. Dunkzilla's moved on to singles titles and other.
Dunkzilla has turned into Shawn Michaels, and Jake Doyle has turned into Marty Jannetty, Jimmy.
Wow.
Yeah. Marty Jannetty today.
Yeah.
Is that a leg?
So anyway, no, that we'll hold off on that. He's not done yet. He's not finished yet, but he does have to be held back. They both have to be held back from attacking Takeshita because Takeshita's coming down. Okay, why is Takeshita coming down? Because the main event of Collision is Konosuke Takeshita defending his newly won international championship against none other than Daniel Garcia. And you know what that means, guys?
I took off.
I took off. Disavowed. Daniel Garcia in the main event. Disavowed. I don't have to watch this. You knew who was going to win anyway, so I didn't even need to disavow it. But I skipped right past. And at the end, there was a big schmoz. It could be a bigger schmoz than the football field fuckery match. Was huge schmoz involving the Death Riders, Shane Taylor Promotions, the Don Callis family, the conglomeration, even Nigel McGuinness and Speedball Mike Bailey got involved in this, throwing blows.
That's right. Actually, McGuinness has been wrestling in Ring of Honor lately, has he not, Prof?
Yeah.
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 There you go.
This was the Alabama Anarchy spot. I'll keep it consistent. I'll just name something out of it.
It was very anarchy.
Even though Collision has ended in these fuckeries many, many times. So this is almost their theme. Because if you miss Collision, you're missing this.
But didn't we watch Collision on Wednesday?
But
that was bonus Collision. This is legit Collision.
Anyway.
But that was legit Collision, and we are done.
We're done? We are done.
In a lean 205.
Actually, that's pretty good, man. That's very, very good.
You know what's left? News.
What? Get the
Do we have
fuck
breaking
outta here.
news while we were sitting there talking about all that foolishness?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
No,
I don't think there is, but if you want me to quickly look.
No, I'm just joking.
All right. No, I've got shit to do too, man. I got a long friggin' day today because we've got Clash in Italy going on, and we're reviewing that also, myself and RBV.
Cool.
Hey,
So no
congratulations.
bedtime for me. Yeah, no bedtime for me, man. Gotta watch fucking Clash in Italy now.
That's
Put
all
the-
right. You
put
got a
some water
couple
on your
winks
face.
here.
Yeah.
So,
put water on your
anyways,
face.
yeah, let's wrap it up, Jimmy.
Let's wrap it up. So anyway, in saying that, boys, tell them what you're doing, what you're up to, and I'll start with you, Vet. What's the go with you, man?
You can find me at Opinion Haver everywhere.
Yeah.
You can catch me on the
Ready?
shows you can catch me on, and you can watch Rip Rogers, Stevie Richards, and Timmy Baltimore.
Wow, I didn't even have a chance to put up the actual thumbnails up there, but who cares? Because Prof, I know what you've got going. You've got this.
Yep. We didn't record last week because we had some time constraints and some family situations, but now we'll be back, and that episode will drop next weekend. Pro Wrestling Spotlight. We're gonna talk about the greatest defections, and what makes it a greatest defection is, you know, the good thing about from jumping from WWE to WCW and vice versa, or jumping from WWE to AEW and vice versa. So the people you see there, people might ask, and I think it was Vet, why is Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan there? Well, you know, in 2021, we will explain it. So with that being said, follow me on the Twitter at PWSOPRF, that's PWSOProf, or tell a friend to subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Reflection YouTube channel.
Nice, very
My
nice.
only real question was, did you not have a picture of Adam Cole wearing a white shirt as well to match with the others? I'm sure he must have worn some at some point.
Ray chose that. I didn't say whatever. I just said put the names there.
Well,
Well, as far as I go, like I just said, man, look out for Clash in Italy review show. Right after the show finishes, about 15 minutes after, we should go live. I'm assuming the show will finish, do you reckon, Prof, by 5 o'clock?
Give or take 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
So we plan on going live about 5:15 if everything goes to plan. So yeah. In saying that, I am Jimmy T. He is the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams, and he is the glorious and the magnanimous, the Professor Chabelo Vera Cruz. And you've been listening and watching
the wreckage.
Boy!
live on Humi Media Group's YouTube channel and of course on the Patreon after the fact. Till next time, peace out, much love, and we're out. See yous.
AEW Double or Nothing Edition. It's time for Wreckage, the weekly AEW review show. This Sunday, it all crumbles.